I'm out in my Florida winter garden this rainy December morning because I want to show you this gigantic tomato plant. This thing is literally over 100 square feet. I'm 6'4". 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about, say, 16 feet. 1, 2, 3. That was about 9 feet. So let's just say 9 times 15. It's 135. If you're in Florida, this is the must-have Everglades tomato. It makes delicious little cherry tomatoes. It can grow almost year-round. One of the totally awesome things about this tomato plant is I didn't even plant it. It's a volunteer. It's left over from before Hurricane Ian destroyed my garden. I had this whole area tarped for 3 or 4 months trying to kill all the weeds and mostly Kogan grass. A little piece of this tarp blew over in late September, early October, and a tiny little Everglades tomato plant popped up. And 2 months later, look at this. Literally 100 square feet, maybe even more, of a tomato plant that I didn't plant, and I've done zero maintenance on it. And we've already got a couple good bowls of tomatoes, and it has green tomatoes all over the place, and also the flowers are coming in all over the place. Let's take a time out for a second to talk about my garden. I got a late start this year because Hurricane Ian destroyed the garden, and I was kind of procrastinating on fixing it and getting it going again. I installed this shade cloth and put some raised beds in. If you're interested in that kind of video, let me know in the comments, because I have the whole process filmed, but I'm having a little creative lapse. I want to do something new and interesting, but it's not coming so easy. Maybe if you leave me a comment, you want to see how I rebuilt my garden, it'll motivate me a little bit. Okay, you see it's a giant plant, but why is it Frankenstein? I'm going to make it a Frankenstein plant. Let me show you. I've got some cherry tomatoes in this raised bed. They're not too big yet because I did get a late start on my garden. But there's a couple of them where there may be 2 seeds that sprouted. I'll take this razor blade, just cut this one off. Now I'm going to graft these onto my Everglades tomato to make Frankenstein. I'm no expert at grafting, but it seems fairly straightforward. First thing I'm going to do is take off some of these extra leaves. If you have any experience doing this, specifically with Everglades tomatoes, grafting onto an existing plant, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know your results. I'll just make a tiny skinny cut to make a wedge. The first time I've ever done it. Now let's find a place to graft. I'm going to choose this branch right here to graft onto. I know for sure the plant is already pushing hormones to make flowers. Just make a tiny cut right here. Push that in there. There's this little clip to hold it in place. I've never done this before, but it seems pretty straightforward to me. This is actually a perfect time to do it. It's going to be raining today, all day, maybe raining tomorrow, and it'll be relatively cool for the whole next week. This Everglades tomato plant easily has another couple months of growth. It all depends on whether it freezes or not. A freeze might kill it back. If there's no freeze this year, this thing might go into the summer. So it could be going another 3, 4, 5, 6 months. If these grafts take and it looks like it's going to work, I'm going to do a little bit more of it. Not just with other varieties of cherry tomatoes, but with some bigger tomatoes, just to see what happens. Why not? I hope you enjoyed my video about the Everglades tomato, 100 square foot Frankenstein tomato plant. And if you want to know more about how I rebuilt my garden after Hurricane Ian, with this shade house and the raised beds, then leave me a comment so that I know. I really need some motivation to get my creative process going on that video. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, out.